Hello, my name is Ramon. I am a senior at the University of Illinois, currently double majoring in engineering and business. Today, I'll be interviewing Jessica Friesemann. Jessica is a sales project manager for Wood Machinery Systems. Jessica is also a member of WMIA. WMIA stands for Woodworking Machinery Industry Association. WMIA's mission is to establish a platform for its members to network and present the best global technology, services, and information to the North American marketplace. Hello, Jessica.
Hi.
So could you describe to me what your typical workday entails and what the first few years in your career was like?
Yeah, so I'm actually still within my first year of being in the woodworking industry, or specific to that. Prior to that, I was in the commercial construction industry as a project manager. But my day, it varies. So as a traveling salesperson, I may be in the office a couple days a week, but I also spend a decent amount of time on the road. And the territory that I cover is Eastern Iowa. So I have everything down I-35 east over to the border. And I may be all over. I could be in Des Moines one day, I could be in Dubuque the next day. And the days vary. Usually I'm on the road by 7 in the morning, and by the end of the day, I've just found a hotel in whatever town I'm in, and I spend my evening there and I catch up on emails and things that I wasn't able to do while I was traveling. So every day is a little bit different, and then every now and then I get some other travel weeks in there too, where I'm traveling to North Carolina or Atlanta or Vegas or California, and sometimes you get to go to Europe and see some places over there too.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's if you're looking for a change of scenery, something like this is consistently changing all the time.
That's awesome. So like never a dull moment kind of job, huh?
No, never dull.
That's awesome. Cool. Okay, so what types of high school or college courses did you find to be the most important or the most applicable to your occupation? Or what courses do you wish you would have taken?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I took AutoCAD, and I'm really glad that I took that. I wish I would have taken more of the wood shop and auto mechanics courses when I was in high school. I didn't take as many of those. I never maxed out the offerings, right? I took AutoCAD 1 and 2, but I didn't take wood shop 1 and 2. So I wish I would have done more of that. In college, I took some management courses in college. My background is construction engineering, and that's what I went to school for. And anything that's management related, I think, is a phenomenal tool for any young adult to take, because it helps you look at, pros and cons of financial situations, time management, operations management. And so just the more that you can expose yourself to the business side of stuff, the better you're going to be in any industry. It doesn't have to be woodworking. But when it comes to woodworking, I really wish I would have taken more classes that were hands-on. And then the other thing that I would say is important, regardless of what field you go into, is to have your core math courses down. A few reasons. First off, you need math to create objects. You need to be able to measure, do angles, know dimensions. But I also think that it's important to know that just in life in general, because you're going to use math every day going forward, at least the basics. So have those basics down.
Yeah. Cool. So for part-time jobs, apprenticeships, or internships, even extracurricular activities, which of these helped you prepare best for this occupation?
Oh gosh. That's a loaded question, because I would actually say that all of the experiences that I had were beneficial. I don't think that there were, when you're in high school, if you do sports, or if you're involved in robotics club or chess club or anything like that, those provide you leadership opportunities. So you don't have to necessarily be the head of a woodshop program to be gaining knowledge. You just need to be being involved. It also helps with your time management. So you're in high school and you're going to school until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and then you're going to do a sport. And then after your sport, you still have homework that you need to go do, or you may have a job that you need to go to. When it comes to jobs, I had internships when I was in college, and I learned so much from them. I took one internship that was completely just kind of outside of construction. It was more in real estate, and I'm glad that I did that because I learned a lot from it that helped me in my construction and now in this career. Um,
Okay.
I don't, sorry, I had some emails pop up there. I'm trying to silence it.
Oh, no problem.
But no, so basically I would just say that for the college related experiences, any job or internship you're going to learn from and you're going to gain knowledge from, whether that's pushing you towards the industry that you're already interested in going in, or it can provide you insight that you may not be interested in that. I wouldn't turn down an internship because it doesn't maybe completely align with you. If you don't have an internship presented to you, or you don't have other internships presented, I would take whatever you are offered because you're going to learn something during that regardless. And a paid internship when you're in college, everyone needs the money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm in that struggle right now, so
Yeah.
I feel that.
I'm
I
still
feel
feeding
that.
off that struggle, so it's okay.
Okay, so what are the benefits of being a member of WMIA?
Okay, well, if you're more seniored in this career, you're 40, 50, 60 years old, it's a huge networking. I mean, the networking that you get is phenomenal. But if you're in
Hmm.
your 20s and 30s and you're new to this, the networking's still great, but it's for a different reason. So for me, we've got, I mean, for example, one of the vice chair of the WMIA, for example, he owns a shop up in Canada, and we do a lot of work with them. And I've gotten to travel with him. I use him as my resource. We're on a text messaging basis. If I have questions, I can call him or text message him, and he's willing to help me. The educational benefits as someone who's new to this industry and as someone who's young are phenomenal because I now have resources that most people my age probably wouldn't have, or most people with my experience level wouldn't have. And so to be able to just, text message one of the guys that I met in the WMIA and say, hey, I have a question about these spindles, or I have a question about this molder, and they're able to get back to me just like that. I mean, there's no value you can put to that. That's an invaluable relationship that I cannot put a monetary dollar to. I can't describe it. There's not enough words to describe what that relationship means to someone who's new and starting.
Yeah, I would imagine when you're part of something as huge that there's a lot of mentors that you could come across who, obviously when they've had 30 plus years in the industry,
Yeah,
their outlook is more than priceless to somebody
exactly.
who's new.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you kind of answered my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Can you tell me about the networking or educational opportunities offered by WMIA?
Well, why don't we talk a little bit more about some of the other educational opportunities that the WMI
Sure.
has? So there's the obvious, just, lectures and presentations and learning sessions for people who are members of the WMIA. But if you're not a member of the WMIA and you're a college student or a high school student looking to go into woodworking, they have the educational committee, which helps provide funds and scholarships to kids who are interested in going into the woodworking industry. And they don't have to necessarily be people who are going to work strictly with their hands in cabinets. They could be people who are interested in going into, what I'm doing, which is sales management. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they look at and consider. We've had people who have applied and they're making like sets that go on theaters. They're doing all the woodworking for that kind of a thing, or they're making. Some kid was making like Kleenex box covers, and we're able to help fund what they're doing post-secondary. In addition to that, I just think that it's really good that they're looking to help kids because you're a young guy who's in college right now. You know what student loans can do to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it
it
sucks.
hurts.
Like
It
it's
hurts.
terrible. So I'm still paying off my debt, and I know that $500 goes a long way. So if we're able to help a kid
Mhm.
out, give them $500 to buy books that semester or buy tools that semester, we want to be able to do that.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great support group to be in, on top of, the educational and networking opportunities.
Definitely.
So, building on top of that, what is the most surprising thing about, your career and also about WMIA itself?
Oh gosh. Okay, well, coming from the construction industry, I was already used to being one of the only women on the job site or in the office. So the gender thing didn't really surprise me that much. Um, the age thing didn't really surprise me that much either. I mean, there's a big age gap as there is in any industry right now. The recession obviously hit construction and woodworking much harder than it did other industries. So that age gap didn't surprise me too much. I think the one thing that really caught me off guard though, as someone who comes from a science background, is I was not prepared for the science that went into wood. I wasn't prepared for
Interesting.
yeah, and it's been really entertaining to learn and to study about, because one of the things I learned this last year is that there's something called the Wood Wide Web. Like, I've never heard of that. But it's the science behind how trees communicate to each other, and how sometimes a tree may be dead, but it's still providing life to other trees, and how the roots interact and talk to each other. And it was just really, I would never have guessed that there was that much science that had gone into wood and forests and trees, and the types of grains, how you cut them, the proper way to dry them, moisture densities, zooming in on a piece of wood and seeing what it looks like under a microscope. I was not prepared for that. I just thought wood was wood. So
That's crazy.
yeah, and it's been fun to learn about.
I'm sure. And when you think of something as simple as wood, you'd never think there's so much complexities that go behind that.
Yeah.
The fact, did you say that trees communicate?
Yeah, you got to Google it. So it's called the Wood Wide Web, and it's
Okay.
something to look up.
Okay. That's kind of crazy. I'm definitely going to look into that after this. Okay. So, last question for you. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or you think would help somebody who's considering this occupation?
Don't be afraid and don't be ashamed. As someone who is new to this industry, I'm finding that there's little things in it that I really enjoy doing. I'm starting to get more hands-on with wood-based projects, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm respecting it a lot more than what the industry currently views the trades as. The people that are going into this industry, they've got a skill set that is far beyond what average minds are comprehending. I mean, it's an art and it's a science. It's a complex thing, and it needs to be respected. So if you're 16, 17, 18 years old and you're worried about the perception of it, don't worry about it, because like I said, it's a science and it's an art, and it's something that needs to be respected. And let's be honest, most people aren't capable of duplicating something like that on their own. So that's the one thing I would say. And then I guess the next piece advice I would give is that if you are thinking about going the college path and looking into, engineering or business management or whatever it may be, a lot of parents are probably going to hate me for saying this, but if you don't think you're doing the right major, the right field, don't be afraid to change. You don't need to go down a certain path just because you think that's what's going to make you money, or you think that's what's going to make other people happy. You need to pick a career path based on what you think is going to make you happy, because it's your whole life. It's not just a job, it's your career, and you don't want to sit here and make your career a job. You don't want to make it a task. So you need to make it something that you want. And sometimes life requires change. So just because it may not be right for you doesn't mean that it's, something embarrassing or shaming, or, take the risk, make the leap.
Yeah. a good piece of advice. Life doesn't always tend to go the way that it's planned. So, and
Exactly.
that could be the fun part, and that could also be the terrifying part. So,
It
I
is.
would, I really like that piece of advice. So, thank you for your time today. I appreciate the insight.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me.